And so at that point, we encounter our first bridge,
Yeah,
which is the Cross Bay Bridge.
it is.
And that is a very unique area. It has a lot of fishing on it
Mm-hmm. On
and,
it and under it.
and under it, yes, and a lot of trash on it.
Yeah.
In fact, definitely by far the most trash I've seen on a bridge to date.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't
Eh,
think I've seen more trash than that on a bridge.
Yeah, and there's another bridge on the route, which we'll get to in a second, that we crossed in week 2 when we did the
Mm-hmm.
beaches of BK and Queens. That not only doesn't have any trash on it, but doesn't have any fishermen on it. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is about the Cross Bay Bridge that attracts so many fishermen, but that is, if not the entirety of the trash, it is a majority of the trash is a consequence of the fishing.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. I felt very disappointed by that. Because there's seaweed, which that's fine. That's natural material. That's going to blow away. And the option for that is just to pick it up and throw it back in the bay right there. But there's fish tail, like little bait tails of fish, like fish carcasses up there. There's also the lunches of the fishermen. There's fishing line, there's hooks, there's all sorts of stuff that's clearly just the trash of the people that are fishing. And I don't understand if you're carrying in and out your poles, you're carrying in and out probably buckets and bait and tackle and all this stuff. Why can't you just carry in and out your trash?
Yeah, it definitely seemed like an area that was ripe for a yearly garbage collection event. I thought about that a lot because it's
Yeah.
close to, on the other side of the bridge is Broad Channel, and that seems to have a lot of community pride in it.
Mhm.
And it just seems like an event that would naturally, once a year, and maybe this already happens, who knows? But or periodically there would be an event where you meet at 9, you clean up for 4 hours, and a local deli hosts like lunch, and you get a local dump truck company to take the garbage away. And then honestly, if that becomes a habit, probably going to be less garbage overall because people will be
Mm.
aware. I think that's what really makes it so that people are less inclined to take their garbage, is that they see an environment already filled with garbage and they don't care as much.
Sure, of course. I also think it could be a nice place for a garbage can.
I think there's one garbage can at each ends of things. And
Yeah,
also, I don't know how it's a sticky area to collect garbage.
that's true because it's such a big road.
Well, in order for a garbage person to collect garbage there, they would either need to stop at the start of the bridge, have somebody walk up the ramp, and then walk down back with the garbage, or stop in the middle of the road, have the garbage person hop the median and
Mm.
pick up the garbage. It's difficult, but as you can see from the video, there are little there all along there. So there's the road, and then there's a walkway, and then there's a chain link fence, and then there's a walkway that's closer to the edge of the water. And on the chain link fence that divides the walkway closer to the road and the walkway closer to the water, there are bag remnants, like convenience store bags, where presumably people have their day's garbage in there, tie them up, and just leave them.
Yeah.
And then either through the course of nature, or it seems more likely to me, based on some observation of the bag remnants, it looks like they get cut off and then maybe thrown out at some point. There are just hundreds of these bag remnant ties on the
Yeah.
chain link fences as well, which would be very tedious to clean up too. And, now that we're
Yeah.
in the pandemic era right now, I'm sure nobody wants to touch anybody's garbage.
Right.
So
No. So maybe this is a future idea, but it also even more reason for not leaving your trash on the bridge. No one wants to clean up after you. Just clean up after yourself. Come on.
Yeah.
We're all trying to be cleaner. We're all trying to like wash our hands and keep our germs away from each other. Just don't leave your weird fish trash on the bridge.
Yeah. So we noticed that there were these, I don't know, plaster bucket tops or these big, the drum buckets, the plastic drum buckets. And somebody had zip tied these things to the chain link fence and written different little inspirational sayings about how you shouldn't throw out your garbage, and the reason that the fish have mercury is because you're treating the planet like trash, and
Yeah.
just trying to get people to be more conscious that if you're sportsmen and sportswomen and you enjoy fishing, that you should be more aware of your leavings.
I agree. I also think so much of fishing is just standing there and waiting for the fish to bite. And while you're standing there and waiting, couldn't you pack up your trash?
Right.
I have a lot of problems. I have a lot to say about this, I guess. I have a lot
Yeah.
of issues with this. But
So taking aside the garbage, the views on both sides are beautiful.
oh yeah, it's great.
Depending on if you're going down towards Broad Channel, on the left side of the road, there's a beautiful view of the A train that's going back and forth, as well as the airport.
Yeah, it actually is beautiful. It's like I'm laughing because you're saying it's a beautiful view of the A train, and that you wouldn't think that you mean that, but it really is. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It has its own bridge that you can see it going across the water
Yeah.
from far away.
And then on the right side, there is a view of the city and more of the Jamaica Bay Preserve,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also very nice.
Yeah.
And
And it is cool to see the people fishing. There's people with poles, there's people down in the water with nets, there's people that throw some kind of trap
Yeah.
down with ropes and tie those up.
Yeah.
It is very cool to see.
Yeah. So the second day of the walk, Jessie was at her studio and I was walking by myself. And I got on the bridge, and right when the first instance of the chain link fence and the dual walkways happens, I could see from about 100 yards away or so, there was a man there fishing. He was doing the angled push-ups, where you instead of going the full-on push-ups where you're up against a structure, he was doing them in rapid succession up against the concrete median that separated him from the cars. And then he would go back and check some poles, and then he'd come back and do another exercise. And I could see him doing this in repetition every 10 or 15 seconds. So immediately I knew I need to keep my hands free. I don't know what's going to happen with this guy, but I put my phone away, just make sure that I can give my full attention to whatever this guy is doing. And so I'm getting closer. I'm noticing as he's doing more of his exercise, he's dressed only in boxer briefs, red boxer briefs. He's shirtless with an enormous belly, like a disproportionate belly. He looks, in all other respects, fairly muscular, but has this, larger than basketball size stomach.
Yeah.
And I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to encounter him. And so I say, hey, when I'm about 3 feet away. Because of the nature of how this road is set up, he's tucked in the corner with his poles, and then the fence is there, and then the walkway close to the road is there, so I can't see him. As I say, hey, I kick a large volume of trash. So there's a loud noise and a little bit of confusion, and as I'm doing that, he pops his head out from his corner where the poles are and goes, I got a fish, come help me. So literally the next second, I have a pole in my hand, and I'm reeling, and he's pulling up the line, and he's going, it's a bluefish. No, it's a flounder. No, it's a fluke. It's a bunker. These are all very different fish. This is not like a game of like slight comparisons. He is naming every fish that he knows, and I'm reeling, and there's no resistance at all, which is, as I'm reeling, I'm a little baffled because like I'm thinking that there should be a fight on this fish. So I can't see over the edge. He's pulling things up, and I'm starting to wonder like, is he screwing with me? But also like I don't want to fuck this up for him. So I keep reeling. Ultimately, later I realize that we're 40 feet above the water at least. There's no fight because I'm just reeling in dead weight.
Yeah, because when you feel a fight, it's the fish like in the water
Yeah.
giving resistance. Yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately, I'm reeling, and then like there's so much slack because he's pulling up. I'm afraid I'm gonna jam the reel, but like I don't want to stop either. And I'm handling this, crazy, boxer briefed, beer bellied man's rod during a pandemic. I'm like,
Yeah,
all these
do
things
not
are
wanna
going.
be- yeah.
All these things are going through my head, but also like he is super excited, so we're gonna support whatever this is. And finally, he gets the fish up. There is a fish. It ends up being a bunker. It's about 12 or 18 inches big, and he is so excited about having this fish. The fish is side hooked, so it is bloodied up,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, yo, yeah, I think it's a bunker. I think it's a bunker. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Yeah, yeah. Oh, what do you think I should do with it? You think it's pretty bloodied. You think I should cut it up for bait? You think I should use its belly? And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, yeah, it sounds good. This is good. And I think he was just really happy to have the company and to
Yeah.
have somebody to like share.
Witness his fish
And
catch.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that, you would think waiting there all day, you would want to reel it in yourself at the final end, but apparently not. And so I asked him to take his photo, and there was very, very slight hesitation, but he agreed. I took several photos, so I have that documentation of it. I didn't ask if I could, reproduce it anywhere, so I
Yeah.
don't know if it'll ever be public or anything like that. But we fist pounded, and then I said goodbye, and I expected to see him someday during the week, but
Yeah,
it
no, he
never
was never there again.
never happened again.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes me think about how the timing on all of these things, everything that we experience while we're on these walks, is so crazily cosmic on its time frame. Like I could have stopped and tied my shoes, and that would not have been an experience.
Yeah.
Or I could have taken an extra minute at home, and that wouldn't have been an experience. Or certainly, if we had been together that day, that would not have
Probably
happened
not,
because we
yeah.
would not have been on the same time frame.
Right.
And all of these things that just happen for an instant and then never happen again.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. So, yeah,
It's a crazy story.
yeah,
I'm glad it happened.
yeah. So we fist bumped, and then I walked 50 feet away and then hand sanitized.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you washed your hands like crazy after
Yeah.
all of that.